And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to another episode of the My Favorite Parts podcast. My name is João de Silva. Thank you for joining me on another episode. This week we have the amazing Paul Cram, character artist, actor, artist, and you also have your own book club that you founded, the Men Who Read Book Club.
I do, yes.
So welcome for being on the show, Paul. If you want to take a moment to tell the audience about yourself a little bit.
Hey, Joel, thanks for having me on. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
no, I'm all those things. I've started to tell people I'm a creative. Like I do acting, I do all the things. I work sometimes in marketing. I've done painting, oil, like just overall creative.
Mm-hmm.
I love to read. I started a book club. We're coming up on our 7 year anniversary.
That's awesome.
So
That's awesome.
it is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me happy. And if I do the math, which I'm not always great at math, but I think we're on book number 73 or 74 or
Mm-hmm.
something like that. Like, yeah, it starts to add up after a while.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to be here. I'm excited to talk to you and get into all the things, I guess. Yeah.
Awesome. And yeah, I mean, I applaud the book club because I know some just setting them up is hard, but like keep them continuing is even harder sometimes. There, when I first moved to Seattle, there's actually a writing club that I went to, and the people that started it. They were telling me about like how they started it. It was just like the most random thing, and then somehow it just kept going and going. So, anybody that can do something like that, I applaud them. It's hard. So,
Oh, I appreciate well, and I appreciate that, and I also
yeah.
it's that thing too where I know I agree with you. Like even doing a
Mm-hmm.
podcast, like
Mm-hmm.
getting consistency and creating
Mm-hmm.
something and keeping it going,
Yeah.
and also going through like those super awkward. Like I do remember when I first started
Mm-hmm.
the book club, I didn't know anybody, and
Yeah.
I went on like Meetup and I started the book club, and like I'm not kidding.
Mm-hmm.
The first 2 or 3 times, it was just me and one other person that I did not know, and,
Yeah.
and it's part of the point, right? But
Mm-hmm.
also, it was super awkward because, like,
Mm-hmm.
we just didn't know each other, and it was just weird. And I was like, "This is part of it," and that's
Mm-hmm.
what was running through my head. I was sitting
Yeah.
there, and I was like trying to talk to the person, and we did not like mesh. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it was so weird. But I was like, "This is a part of it," and like things will get better. Hopefully,
Yeah.
fingers crossed. Yeah, but yeah, we started to more guys started to come,
Mm-hmm.
men who read book club, and more
Mm-hmm.
started people started to come, and the conversations when you're just staring across the table at a
Mm-hmm.
person that you never met before, and it can be super great if that
Mm-hmm.
person also likes to talk.
Yeah.
This guy that came didn't, like, he was shy, and I was like, oh, it was a long hour.
Yeah. And then on top of that, just getting in general adults to do anything once all together, like getting them all together at once to do something, but to do it consistently. Yeah. I have a group of friends that we've been trying to plan like a vacation together since we haven't seen each other in like in a while, and it's been years just planning because you know, so
It's I will say this on that note, like,
yeah.
because it's like, where are you gonna go, how are you
Hmm.
gonna, all the things.
Yeah.
I did know this from some, I have an older sister
Hmm.
who she started like an organization like 16 years ago, a business
Hmm.
networking group, and one of her like little tips that I was like, I'm gonna use that for this book club, is she's like, I picked a day of the month and I picked the time, and I've never changed it for 16 years. You either come, or if you can't make it, fine, we'll see you whenever you can. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like, and so like that was something that for me, I was just like, okay, second Saturday of the month at 10:30, and I've just set that, and
Hmm.
it's been so helpful in that way, because I've
Yeah.
had people that were like, "Oh, I can't make that day. Can we change it?" I'm like, "Well, it was nice to meet you. I guess you can never come to book club then, because if you
You are banished.
if you can't make it at that time, that is what it is."
Mhm.
And it sounds harsh on one hand, but on the other hand, it's exactly what you just said. It's like,
Mhm.
oh, even my schedule and yours. I mean, we all have lives,
Mhm.
and it's just
Yeah.
like,
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. But without further ado, let's get the show rolling, and we'll get into your favorite parts, and you can tell the audience about all your little subjects, and I'm excited for this. So, without further ado, we're gonna go into your first one, and the first subject that you brought up was sightseeing in nature with friends, like hiking, walking in the city, other
Yeah.
things. So, go ahead and tell the audience a little bit about what makes that one of your favorite parts.
Well, I just like it a lot.
Yeah.
I'm totally
Roll the
pulling you like
credits.
that. And roll the credits. We're done. No,
Yeah.
I, I, I just, I was thinking about this actually a little bit,
Mhm.
and I am going to get a little vulnerable here. So just
Yeah.
roll with me and bear with me on this
Hmm.
because I was like, what is it about this? Like
Hmm.
I think a lot of people do. Like this is like
Hmm.
hiking and getting out and just kind of being out in nature. I was like, what is it? Wait, why is it that I like this resonates really deep for me,
Hmm.
you know? And there's a couple of things. One of them is I love conversation with whoever it is that I'm out and about with. Like, I love just, I find that conversations can get so deep when you're doing something else.
Hmm.
Like again, like for book
Hmm.
club, like sitting across from
Yeah.
that guy, I was just like, okay, this is hard. But like, had we probably spent like, let's just take a little walk around the park
Hmm.
and talk. Like,
Yeah.
there's just something to it where it's like I'm doing something else. I'm a little bit more distracted, and I don't know. There's something in that I find some of the deepest conversations I've had have been like just kind of on a hike or walking and like looking and doing something else, but spending time with the person.
Hmm.
Um, and where this gets vulnerable for me is I remember doing this with my little brother. And this would have been, we did this would have been 20 years ago now, a very long time ago. And unfortunately, I lost a parent. We had lost a parent
Oh.
in a car accident. And my brother, there's a big age gap. Like
Hmm.
my little brother is at the time he was 7, and
Okay.
I was like 20 something. So like
Hmm.
um, what do you do in that grief? Like, what does one do? There's no way to fix this.
Hmm.
There's no way to make this better. There's no way. This is like literally holding the hand of my little
Hmm.
7-year-old brother and being like, we're just going to go and we're going to explore and we're going to look around
Hmm.
and we're going to take a walk down by the river. And these are some of the memories that have such impact in my life where it's like these are some of the like one of the most battered times in my life of like emotionally just being
Hmm.
shattered
Hmm.
and being like in that these are some of the most beautiful memories I have with my little brother and being able to like go and poke
Yeah.
around and like lift rocks up and
Hmm.
like see these amazing weird like literally getting down in the dirt and being like what are these bugs doing and like there was like
Yeah.
like all of these things and yeah there's something in it that it's poking around exploring talking about stuff I think that there's that's always been kind of my go back to like
Hmm.
a little bit of a reset. I'm not alone in that. I know that there's a lot of people
Yeah.
that like you go out in nature and you kind of have a
Hmm.
reset, and like
Yeah.
that's been something for myself.
Yeah.
And me and my little brother still do this to this
Mhm.
day. Like we'll be like, oh, let's go, and we'll go and like
Mhm.
poke around and look around and talk.
Yeah, there's two things that stick out to me about that. One, I unfortunately I know some people that have been kind of in similar situations as that, and same thing like how you're wondering like how do we get past this? How we do this? And sometimes they tell me they sometimes they hate it when people will tell them like everything's gonna be okay, but like no, no, it's not. And that's okay. And you try to get through it and everything. The second, I don't know if you could attest to that, but
No, I'm not in my head. I'm agreeing with you because
yeah.
it's because there's something to that as one who has experienced that sort of
Hmm.
grief and the thing I just have to say too
Hmm.
everybody is going to experience that sort of grief
Yeah.
at some point in their life
Hmm.
if you haven't yet that's
Hmm.
life
Yeah.
and uh, I personally hate with a passion
Hmm.
that things will get better. It's like, no,
Yeah.
actually, this isn't,
Yeah.
that's not how this works. And
Yeah.
that's not how,
This is real.
this is real. And that human shaped hole that exists in my heart now
Hmm.
is never going to go away. And
Yeah.
that, and it's but it is, it's that thing where it's
Hmm.
like one foot in front of the other,
Hmm.
and somehow you don't get better, but you get through. And
Yeah.
there's something to that. So I
Yeah.
wholeheartedly agree with you on
Yeah.
that.
And I appreciate the people that tell me up front, because I was one of those people. Like, oh, things will get better. It's gonna be all right. Now I'm just like, what do you need? What can I do?
I
And
love that so
yeah,
much. Yes. Yeah. What do
yeah.
you need?
So yeah, like you tell me what you need, because I have no idea what you're going through. And then, but the second thing that stuck out to me about you saying that is the fact that, you know, how you brought up talking to people while doing things. And I didn't think about it, but that makes so much sense, because sometimes when you, like, imagine you go on a date and you have to talk to this person, and you're like, well, what do I say? And sometimes you forget that, like how you said, like you could go on a hike, you can walk around the city, and sometimes it takes the pressure off of, like, doing something in the midst of that takes kind of the pressure off of like having that conversation, and just makes it flow naturally. So I didn't think about that, and that's something that, like, you just jogged in my head. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Well, and it's something that's actually my maybe this isn't a surprise actually because I'm saying
Hmm.
this is my favorite thing, but like that's my go-to for dates. Like
Yeah.
actually I will say like I'll usually for a first date I'll usually ask somebody out and I'll be like, you know, do you want to go get a coffee?
Hmm.
And if the coffee goes well,
Yeah.
I usually go to this. I go to this spot again, actually down by the Mississippi River, and I'm like,
Hmm.
if the coffee goes well, I'm like, oh, do you have a few minutes? We can go take a walk or whatever.
Hmm.
You know, if it doesn't go well, I'm like, this
Hmm.
was really good.
Yeah.
Bye. Nice to meet you.
Keep the change. Bye.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I know I'm not quite done with my coffee, but I gotta go.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, that's enough caffeine for me. Um, that's awesome. No, that was spectacular. I appreciate that response. Without further ado, it leads us into their second one, which is going to be hunting for a good book, which I know and kind of encompasses, you know, how you have the book club and everything. So I'm excited to hear your response to this. But tell the audience why hunting for a good book is one of your favorite parts.
hunting for a good book is one of my favorite parts. It is. I love it so much, and I like over the years I have always I love looking for something that is going to uh, I don't know how to explain. I think people that love to read will know what I'm talking about. But it's
Hmm.
like you find that book, and it's like you never want it to end, and you're in it, and it's like this is this world, the character,
Hmm.
like you're rooting for every like. But I love hunting for that. I love where it's like, oh, this one, you know, no, no, no. Like I love, I love looking
Hmm.
for a really my next good read. I also like over the years too. I have a lot of nieces and nephews,
Hmm.
and for Christmas I would always get. When I say I have a lot of nieces and nephews, I'm serious. Like I have 17 nieces and nephews. So like,
Wow. Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of nieces and nephews. I would always get them a book, and I usually didn't get them all the same book. It would be
Hmm.
like, no, this is I'm crafting this. Like I'm going to find the book that you are going to want to like sit down and read right
Hmm.
now. And I always loved it so much. It filled me with so much pride when, like, yeah, they're, you know, people are,
Hmm.
you know, it's big family Christmas and people are opening their presents. And some of my nieces, like, they'd still have a pile of presents and they're like, no, no, I have to read this. Like, and that just was like mission accomplished.
Hmm. It's like a
So,
badge of honor.
yeah, that badge of
Hmm.
honor. And even with my book
Hmm.
club, it taps into that for me where I'm like,
Hmm.
finding a good book that we're all going to have like maybe either a really good conversation or even a contentious one where it's like we all you know hated this book,
Hmm.
but something
But
about looking for the
yeah,
book, like I really
yeah.
I like that. I like spending time doing that, like
Hmm.
that. There's a process in that
Hmm.
where it's just like kind of going down these rabbit
Hmm.
holes of topics and
Hmm.
like something in it just really fills my cup.
Hmm. Plus, it's probably like super exciting doing that, knowing that, like, what's going to be this next thing that I'm going to get into.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
one
Yes.
thing that you mentioned about, like, the debate between, like, people about the book, I think that's so awesome, because, you know, for I think everybody should be open minded to everything, and, like, be able to look at something from a different point of view. So the fact that people can, like, have different opinions about stuff, that I think that's awesome, especially in, like, in a book club. But question for you, since honestly, I feel like I should read a little bit more, and but sometimes the scary part is like, well, what do I devote my time to? Is
Yeah.
there some
Yeah.
things that you look at when looking for a book? Like, is it the back? Is it the cover? Um, like, what
Oh,
catches you?
I'm a huge like visual person, so
Mm-hmm.
cover art has a ton to do with it. Like same with movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, like give me a good movie poster, and I'll be like, okay, okay, you're getting me. Um, that said, too, I know that there's a lot of books where the covers have been less than impressive, but the books are so great. I will say, like how we do it with book club, and this has
Mm-hmm.
been really, really kind of cool and helpful. Was we only read nonfiction because there's so many books in the world, so it's like we have to have a little bit of a parameter.
Mm-hmm.
And then also to kind of what you're saying too, I found like we're very democratic in my book club. Like we all like each month we are like, here's the books that we're going to consider, and
Mm-hmm.
we're all going to vote on which one we read. But I found that it was too open. Like
Yeah.
it was just like, how do you vote on all these books? Sounds great, and they have nothing to do with each other. Like, how do you pick? So I started coming up with a prompt. So like usually like as an example in February it's Valentine. So
Mm-hmm.
usually it's like the book has to do with something about love or
Mm-hmm.
something like that,
Mm-hmm.
and it gives us a little bit of a focus. So
Yeah.
it's like and I don't know like the book that we have coming up, it was a book that is from the that it has to have an animal in it.
Mm-hmm.
So like we're reading H is for Hawk, and but it was cool. It was fun to see. It was like, oh okay, these
Mm-hmm.
are there's a topic or a little bit of a theme,
Mm-hmm.
because otherwise, to your point, like how do you choose? Like
Yeah.
there's there's hundreds of thousands of books. Like
Yeah.
yeah, how do you pick? How do
I
you
think
pick?
that, and for some people, you never know. That might be like something that gets them even more excited because they might look more forward to like what's going to be the theme this month. That it's just like it adds that little bit of extra excitement into it.
I agree with you on that. I
Mm.
agree with you on that, and I have a good time too coming up again with
Yeah.
some of the prompts. One of them that I was so proud of because, but the prompt was a bestseller the year that you were born, and we recently did that one, and it was fun because it was like, oh, we're actually looking at some books from, that they're not published just this year. It's like we're
Hmm.
looking at books from way back when. For some of us,
Yeah.
some of us older
Yeah.
guys,
But
yeah.
at least that gives everybody some variety. Like you're touching on stuff that you might not have even considered at that point.
Oh, 100%.
Mm.
The book that we just read, it was about a notorious serial killer from 1979. I would never ever have picked that book up. Like,
But you'd start turning the pages, you're like, oh.
no, I turned the pages and I was like, this is there's a reason this was a bestseller. Like,
Yeah.
and also now like it's all about this guy who he was a serial killer back in the 70s, and he would befriend tourists in
Hmm.
Asia, and then he'd kill them. And I was like, this makes me so afraid to travel now. Like
Yeah.
if anybody's nice to me, I'm like,
Uh-huh.
wait, do you want to murder me? Like,
Yeah. Would you like a napkin? No. Stay away.
no, no, stop saying hello to me.
Yeah. That's awesome. But again, thank you for sharing that with the audience. I
Yeah,
think
you're
that
welcome.
one, it helps me in knowing, kind of like what to look for in the future as far as like books, but hopefully somebody else out there that's listening. So I do appreciate that. That does. Go
Well,
ahead.
and I have a question for you
Hmm.
on this one.
Yeah.
Just out of because I did listen to the episode
Hmm.
recently that you were the spotlight of attention and you
Hmm.
did your favorite things. I'm curious because I know your favorite movie from listening to the episode,
Hmm.
and I'm wondering, have you ever dove into a book that would be similar to the movie Bad Boys?
Into a book? No. I'll be 100% honest with you. I've never really I've read books, but not too many of them that I can be like, oh, like I'm a book reader. I tend to read a little bit more mangas and stuff like that.
Oh my god,
So
I love manga.
yeah, so
Hello,
I'll
yeah.
read those and stuff like that.
Have you tried
But
audiobooks?
no, I've heard good things about them,
Yeah.
but I haven't dabbled into them myself.
I bike and bus a lot, so like I get car sick when I try to read. So
Hmm.
I do audiobooks, and they're fantastic. So I
Yeah,
don't know. Who knows?
my cousin suggested a book that I read and stuff, like one of those. like self improvement books and things like to help you like do things like more consistently and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
like he's finished it, and I'm still reading it because he's done the audiobook and it's helped him just like go through it and stuff.
Just
So
I there's no way that I would get through all the books in book club without an audio version because
mhm,
I can listen while I'm like doing other things because otherwise it's like yes, do I want to sit down and read? Of course, but
mhm.
only so much. So, but yeah,
I might try that now because that's the second like recommendation I got for audiobooks. And like when I cook, I have like music or like a podcast on in the background, so I think it's the same thing.
I think it's the same thing too. Actually,
Hmm.
if you're listening to a podcast, same difference. Like,
Okay.
yeah, when I'm cooking too, I usually turn on either music. Very similar. I think
Hmm.
we're yes, yeah.
Cool. Then I'll give that a shot then. But no, as far as something similar, I don't know if I've had something similar as far as like a book for Bad Boys, but it's only because I generally like usually read mangas and stuff like that more often.
I love that.
Yeah, I think it'll probably be hard to find one based on Martin Lawrence and Will Smith and. But that leads us to our next one. We touched on manga for a little bit, which is usually animated with that. So the last subject that we have is actually going to be something that's animated show, and it's going to be the show Bob's Burgers. I'm excited for this one because I know a lot of people that are like super into it, and I've actually bought my brother the cookbook that came from the show.
There is a cookbook.
Yeah, and it's actual burgers from the show that. So they, I guess, like how I guess he
I
has the
love
names of
those.
the burgers on like the show
On
sometimes.
the
Hmm.
every episode there
Yeah.
is a burger of the day, and it's
Hmm.
up on the. I'm assuming so many things
Hmm.
that listeners would know Bob's Burgers. I'm going to
Hmm.
assume that they do. It's an animated cartoon, and yes, it's a burger joint.
Hmm.
And Bob every day has a burger of the day. And what I appreciate about that too, like as far as like from a storytelling
Hmm.
perspective, is it's not like the camera zooms in on like the burger of the day. It's like no, it's just up on the board. It's
Yeah.
just kind of there. It's not like I think maybe there was one episode where that was the focus of the episode, but
Mhm.
that's not the focus of the show all the time. I did not know that. It makes perfect sense. I'm
Yeah.
sure that there's.
I think they took the names from those and actually made like actual recipes for them and stuff, and you can literally just make the burgers from the show.
I'll have to. I'm gonna have to look up on the
Hmm.
library website once we're done here. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go
If
take a peek.
anything, I'll put for anybody in the audience too. I'll probably put a link to the where they sell it. Also,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think you could probably get it like on Amazon, but just in case, I'll do that just
Well, I'm going to
in case
totally.
anybody's interested.
Well, me, I am. No, that's super fun. The show itself too. Like gosh, this I don't know how many seasons. I think there's been is it 14? I think there's
I think it's
14
14.
seasons. Yeah, something
Mhm.
like that. And I've seen all of the episodes, and I've gone back and watched some of them.
Mhm.
I don't consider myself to be like a die-hard Bob's Burgers fan, but like this is probably one of my favorite shows that I've watched on TV, and there's something about it for myself that it's a feel-good show. Like it's the while the stakes are high, obviously for the characters in the show, it's not a high-stakes show. It's not like it is not like the movie Bad Boys, where it's like,
Yeah.
if you don't, I actually I don't think I've seen the whole movie of Bad Boys, so I might be wrong. Is that's terrorism? Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Kinda.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like they got to
Yeah.
save the
Mhm.
day. No, this is like we have to save the day to pay the rent for the burger joint. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like
Yeah.
it's a feel good sort of a vibe.
Mhm.
I so appreciate though as an actor and as like a performer. I mean, they have amazing actors that are voicing
Yeah.
the characters, but the storylines and stuff they get me. Like
Mhm.
I consider myself to be somewhat of a big old softy,
Mhm.
and I'm like, oh my gosh, like some of the ways in which that they write the three kids in the movie, or not
Mhm.
movie. Well, there was a movie, but
Yeah.
the way they write Tina, Jean, and Louise, and the way that they have that dynamic of the three of them, it's some of it's so real. Where I'm
Mhm.
just like, as one who comes from, like I've already mentioned, a big family. I have a
Mhm.
lot of siblings, and just seeing the way that they navigate some of that sibling rivalry, and also uh, I love too so much that there's like the character of Tina. So okay, you've seen the show.
Yeah, yeah,
So like the character of Tina, like she's just on that cusp of like really going full adolescence, but she's kind of in that, and I love how they deal with. Um, I love so much how they like allow that for her, like they
hmm
allow, and for Jean, and like they're like. I love how they, because that's one I grew up in a this again says
yeah.
probably a lot about like my upbringing, but
hmm
like I grew up in a very like staunchly religious fundamentalist sort of an upbringing that was
hmm
it was really hard. Like it was really hard for me. And I love seeing in this cartoon where I'm like, oh, like Tina's writing some smutty zombie story, love story, like just
Yeah.
wacky stories that somebody who's in adolescence where she's trying to figure out like how does
hmm
one go about this, and it's just allowed. And like in my upbringing, like anything like that is like no, sex, no, and
Yeah.
it's like
hmm
you're forever going to be an angel, and it's like
Yeah.
no, that's not real life. So
hmm
there's some things in the show like that I find I'm like they deal with it really well, and
hmm
it's charming.
that I think that's the sign of a good show when they can tackle like maybe some stuff that might be like heavy, but tackle it in a way that makes it fit with their show. Like it doesn't take them out of like what their element is, and
Yes.
you know,
Yes. Yeah,
Eh,
absolutely.
yeah. And plus, like my brother and one of my friends like watch it a lot more than I did. But the one thing I do know is that like the voice acting and the voices for the characters, they're so prominent. Like you can hear the voice and know exactly, oh, that's from Bob's Burger. That's from Bob's Burger. Like H. John Benjamin, I think he has one of like the best voices, 'cause, like doing that and Archer and
Oh, he has like the
yeah.
quintessential male. Like I feel like he,
Mhm.
like even as I'm talking, I'm like
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. Like he
Yeah.
has, and it's obviously so natural for
hmm
him.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, he has that wonderful. Especially in Archer, I think he really
hmm
leans into that.
hmm
But yeah, it's a fun voice. Also, I chuckle because I know like
hmm
he does some of the younger voices too, and like I can hear him trying to make his voice a little squeakier, and it's like I'm like you're having to like work to do that, and then there's people like me who are like, hi, I sound like Mickey Mouse,
hmm
and it's oh yeah, he has a great voice. Also, I have to just give a shout out. I
Yeah.
love the voice of, I don't know if you know the character, but Millie Frock. She is so like Louise is the youngest girl of
hmm
the siblings, and
Yeah.
has and she Millie is like in her grade at school, and Millie, like I love this, like she always puts her necklace in her mouth and is like chewing and like making just weird noises, and I'm like I know that person. I know that person that's so annoying with their mouth. Like
yeah.
they just tap into such fun stereotypes that are so
Yeah.
real. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's all. It seems like it's all stuff that we all experience, but don't really like think about that much. And they were like, oh yeah, I know somebody that's exactly like that.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I have a friend. I actually saw him yesterday, and he was saying that like Bob's Burgers is like what he does to wind down. Like when he goes to bed, like he'll get in bed, and like how people will play like white noise or like rain and stuff. He'll just put on Bob's Burgers and just let it ride, because he's already seen all the episodes, so it just gets him going.
Yeah, no, I
Mm-hmm.
I do something. I have done something similar. Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My last boyfriend when we were dating, I was,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'd be like, turn that on, eat some food, and like just decompress. So I
Yeah,
I totally can relate to that.
yeah, and those
Absolutely.
are the best shows that you can do anything like that. Some like a show that you can just pop on at any time and like it just hits the spot. Those are the best.
Those exactly,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. And you're reminding me too. Not reminding me, but like I feel like to your comments about like
Mm-hmm.
some the really good shows that can like take a topic that is hard
Mm-hmm.
and like challenging and kind of work their way through it. I also feel like at least some of the manga that I've read, I've noticed that in some of them. I feel like again to talk books a little bit because that's
Mm-hmm.
always I love to talk books, but like
Mm-hmm.
even in manga, is it manga or manga? I don't know
Manga technically.
manga.
Mm-hmm.
I notice like because I read a ton of like young adult fiction books,
Hmm.
and young adult fiction and the mangas that I've read, they seem like they do tackle some pretty
Hmm.
deep, heavy things really well too.
Hmm.
And this leads to I don't know. I'm just curious. What is there a good manga that you can recommend for me?
If you haven't read anything, like if you don't read it regularly or anything like that, something that I would recommend for any beginner, whether it's anime or manga, is Full Metal Alchemist. It's probably like the easiest to get into. It has
I've
a little bit of.
watched the show
Mhm,
and
mhm.
I big heart. Oh my god! Like
Yeah.
so, you want to talk about some heavy,
Hmm.
heavy hitting like topics of grief. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, Full Metal Alchemist. But I haven't looked at the actual manga, so I just doubted a note. I've seen the
Hmm.
show, but um, and now I'm actually so curious. I've seen the show. I don't know if there's more. Like maybe there is more. I think the one that I watched was about the Elric brothers. But like, does it?
Hmm.
Is
Yeah,
there
it's the
more
same
than
same
that?
exact. No, it's the same exact thing. They're because usually the animes that we all watch, they're based off the manga, so they're usually
Yeah,
taking the source
yeah.
material from there and just making it in an animated version. So it's one of the easiest ones that I think is for somebody to get into. So I usually that's the first thing I always recommend, and then you can spread out into different paths and stuff after that. Usually, the good thing about animes and mangas is that there's a little bit of like everything you can do. Like if you want just action, there's that. If you want something where it's like slice of life, if you want something where it's about romance, if you want something that's about like people going through things, there's the variety out there is like insane. So it just depends on what you're looking for as far as like your type of read. But I I think that's good because there's a little bit of everything in there for somebody.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
I'm so with you on that.
Boom. And that does conclude your favorite parts. So that'll take us now into your next stage of the show, which is going to be your five senses. You mentioned watching and listening to some of the other episodes. I'm sure you know how this goes. We'll
I
go ahead and
do.
ask you about your five senses, and again, what we're looking for is what's your favorite of each, not necessarily which one of those is your favorite. So. Um, if you want, I can give you the first one, unless you have one in mind that you want to start off with.
Surprise me.
All right, we're gonna go with taste.
I am going to go with umami, which is it's sort of that meaty vibe, that
Hmm.
pleasant savory thing. So that would be the thing. And there is this really specific food that I'm that I'm
Hmm.
thinking of. It's like a condiment. It's like a sauce thing, but it's chili crisps.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah,
yeah,
my brother recently started buying that for us here, and I'm not too good with like spicy food, but this is
same. Like
uh
there,
huh.
like I can do a little heat, but
Hmm.
like there's something about them. I'm like, oh, this is too hot. Not too hot, but I'm just
Hmm.
like, but I can't stop. Like, yeah, there's something about it that yeah. So chili crisp, umami, just
Yeah, and you probably agree. The thing about the chili crisp is that you can put like whenever you have something that you want to put on everything, that's a good sign.
I. Oh, I'm so with you on that because
Yeah.
I will put it on like, oh, I have some eggs here. Yeah, okay, some chili crisp. Oh, I have
Mhm.
chicken. Well, I'm gonna put some chili. Yeah,
Yeah.
put it on everything.
No, absolutely. And yeah, I agree with that. And does it give you that umami like sense that you're looking for?
It does, yeah. It does.
Nice.
There's something. There's a brand. I can't remember what brand it is, but there's a little Asian, very authentic Asian market up the street, and they
Hmm.
have chili crisps, and they also have chili crisps with like crispy garlic and I'm like, oh, it all is. It
Brings
just
all the things we love into one thing.
it brings all the things
Mhm.
that I love into one thing, and um, I don't know what else to say to it. Like I
No.
feel like I could sit and eat it all
Hmm.
day. So.
Yeah, I 100% agree. The chili crisp train is moving. Next
Choo
one.
choo.
Let's do sight.
Uh, favorite site like those breathtaking skies. You know when you look
Hmm.
up and you're just it just smacks you in the face and you're
Hmm.
like, wow, yeah. Be it at the not even not I was gonna say like at a beautiful setting like at the beach when like the
Hmm.
sun setting.
Hmm.
Not even then. Like even just like you're at in a store parking lot and you look up
Hmm.
and it's like,
Hmm.
oh my god,
Yeah.
like yeah.
Coincidentally, well, I'm here in Seattle, and yesterday was like one of the first. Not that it's been bad, but yesterday was like a really nice day. Like we went out for dinner for somebody's birthday, and like we walked outside, and it was like low 60s, sky, clear skies and everything. And I was like, oh my god, can it be like this all the time? So.
Yes. Yes. Well, can it be like that though all the time in Seattle?
Yeah, X Group.
It
Surprisingly, yes.
can.
The summers are probably the best summers I've experienced because I've lived in Chicago before this in Florida also. The summers here are probably the best. It's clear all the time.
Oh
It's
wow.
like usually like 60s, 70s, and no humidity. Like sure, the in the winters it rains and it's kind of cloudy, but everybody's inside because it's cold anyway. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, if I'm from Minneapolis, so Chicago. I mean, you know what it's like
yeah.
here in the
Oh
winter.
yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. It's not the sexiest.
not the sexiest.
Yeah.
No.
But no, that I do appreciate that response for that because it literally just experienced it. But next we did taste and sight. How about sound?
This one's easy for me.
Mm-hmm.
That really deep rumbling purr of a diesel engine. It it it
Mm-hmm.
it is like there's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
memory associated with it. My dad was a journeyman diesel mechanic, so like
Wow.
he would work on the big beast rig,
Mm-hmm.
the Mack trucks. Like he would work on those.
Okay.
Yep. But also we would travel and things like we had. Basically, my dad always had a diesel truck,
Mm-hmm.
and uh, if you, it is such a distinct sound. You know when there is a diesel, you just know it.
Yeah.
It has this purr, and it's just it's low, and it's just
Mm-hmm.
there's something so I find that sound very comforting. Like
Yeah.
it's this low purr, it's it would make. And I'm sure it's a thing. I'm sure it's a thing. I haven't looked it up, but I guarantee that there is a white noise
Mm-hmm.
diesel engine that I would fall right asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but the purr
I
of a
mean,
diesel engine.
if it isn't there, I think you've stumbled onto something. Like, yeah, I hear that from like car enthusiasts too. Like I have some friends that like know exactly like they can hear an engine and know exactly maybe what car it's from. So the
Yeah,
fact that some like people don't think about like big wheels when they think about that. So the fact that it still hits you the same way is awesome.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm. And then now we'll do touch.
I am very Scandinavian, like from the Midwest, like from
Hmm.
Minnesota. So for me, like, and I acknowledge this, like, I have a ton of hangups with touch, where I'm like, oh, don't touch me, don't touch me. But I also know that that's like when I'm in a dating relationship, I'm like,
Hmm.
touch me,
Hmm.
So I know like there's some learned
Hmm.
things within that, but
Yeah.
like my favorite touch, I absolutely love it when I am dating someone, like the touch of their head in the crook of my,
Hmm.
like, oh, like yes,
Hmm.
like that's my favorite.
Yeah, and I think that goes for probably both people because one, they feel comforted, and then like they feel secure, you feel comforted, like having something.
Yes,
Yeah. Hmm.
having whatever this is. I know
Hmm.
there's people probably listening. I am like referencing the part, when there's a head on your shoulder and your arm
Yeah.
is wrapped around them, and it's
Hmm.
just
Hmm.
it's such a great feeling.
Yeah. Yeah, and one, the feeling itself, and then two, like the emotional feelings it probably gives that too.
Yes,
It just expands to like everything after that. So I think that's an
exactly.
awesome way to look at that. And then lastly, we have smell.
And you know what's great about this one
Mm-hmm.
with smell is I am such a scent hound. Like
Mm-hmm.
I am huge, huge like
Yeah, I read your
frag.
profile, and that's why I left that last. Yeah.
I always love sticking my nose into like how I love hunting for a book. I love hunting for like a really good fragrance, really good cologne, perfume, like whatever it is.
Hmm.
Um, and so this changes for me all the time. Like it often changes for me. But with the warmer weather coming, I've really been digging the scent. It's like this really bitter green citrus scent, and it's.
Mm-hmm.
Um, do you know what this citrus fruit is? It's called a pomelo. Like it's like kind of a cross between like a grapefruit and like
Yeah.
a like it looks
Yeah.
green.
Yeah. If I'm correct, the pith of it is like super thick.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it has like when you smell it, it's like it's citrus, but it's like green. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
like it's like a bitter green
Mm-hmm.
citrus. Like it still has that bright like citrus note, but it's not like sweet. It
Mm-hmm.
smells bitter. Like yeah, right now I'm just really digging it. I'm liking that aroma. That would be my favorite smell at the moment. And
If you don't mind me asking, how have you been like getting it? Like that scent. Have you been like going out and getting it, or like is there like a candle that kind of smells like it or something?
there's actually there's a fragrance that I had picked up and I had read about it actually in a book.
Mm-hmm.
Go figure. From years ago, there's a book called The Perfect Scent, and
Mm-hmm.
the author he follows like two fragrances as they're being made. One of them
Mm-hmm.
was over in Paris, and then one was here in New York. And the one that was in Paris, it is called, and I don't speak French. I don't know how to say these things. So, but it translates to the Garden of the Nile.
Mm-hmm.
And like there was literally in the that's how they kind of came up with the concept for this fragrance was they traveled to Egypt and they were
Mm-hmm.
on the Nile and like they were served like I think it was very similar to a pomelo and they're like oh we're gonna base this fragrance on this so I have that fragrance, but
Mm-hmm.
also yes, like I feel like this is also a really good time. I have in my refrigerator. I don't even think they need to be refrigerated, but yeah, just
Mm-hmm.
I don't have pomelos. I have oranges at the moment, but like
Mm-hmm.
just that really citrusy fragrance. I think it's very seasonal for me.
Yeah.
Like if you ask
Mm-hmm.
me this question in the fall, it's I'm
Yeah.
going to be all about like the smoky, cozy,
Mm-hmm.
you
That's
know.
awesome. The like citrus is probably like one of the most like prominent like smells in my opinion. Like my favorite like candle from like Bed and Bath and Body Works or whatever is the lemon one. The lemon I forgot what it's called. It's like something lemon and it's just pure just lemon.
It's
Like
just
right
straight
in
up
your face.
lemon.
Yeah. Mhm.
Uh, my brain is going crazy because I'm thinking of all the things that Bath and Bodies that
Mhm.
I love Bath and Body. Like their
Yeah.
stuff smells great.
Yeah.
They even have like a hand soap. I think that's called like
Mhm.
lemon
Yeah.
something. But yeah, no, citrus is it's I'm all
Yeah.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like bright, it's like refreshing
Yes.
and that's just not the actual food itself. So
I
thumbs up for
read.
that.
I also a coworker of mine was
Mhm.
saying I don't know what she was saying. She was eating an orange, and she
Mhm.
was like, oranges are like the gift that everybody smells. Like, and I was like, that's
Mhm.
true. Like, it's I don't know.
Yeah, you
It's
eat it like if you peel it with your like hands, like your hands just straight smell like just
your
like
hands. Yeah,
citrus. Yeah.
yeah, uh, yeah, yeah,
There's worse
yeah.
things that you can come back smelling like so.
There are
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yes, yes, exactly.
Yeah. Well, that's all your five senses. I think they were all amazing, and I appreciate for you sharing that with the audience. We kind of skipped over it, but I just wanted to ask, just in case you had anything you wanted to share for it. But every once in a while we do the favorite part of the week. Is there anything that
Oh,
highlighted your week that you that caught your eye or anything like that? If not, I can throw one out there.
nothing's coming into my head
Hmm.
right at the moment. So toss something out.
Cool. Anybody that is an avid gamer or anything, they did just announce the Nintendo Switch 2, in case anybody's wondering.
Ah,
There
I
is
just
some
bought a Switch actually, my very
really
first Switch last fall. So,
nice.
but they now there's a new one.
Yeah, they just announced it and everything. So, but from what I understand, a lot of people are still going to be playing the ones they have currently. I don't think that's going to go anywhere anytime soon.
Sure.
I did have a Switch, but UPS lost it when I moved over to Seattle, and I was appalled.
Oh no. So,
Yeah,
are you going to maybe replace it with the
yeah.
new one or
That's
yeah?
why I didn't get another one because I was like, might as well just wait for the new one to come out at this point. So if anybody hasn't heard about it, it's out there. Go ahead and look it up. It goes on sale June 5th, and I think the pre-orders go live April 9th.
Oh wow, that's coming up really quick.
Yep, yep. So
Uh, I do want to get. I don't have it yet on
Hmm.
my Switch. I just have one game,
Hmm.
there's a game. Oh, I'm gonna forget the name of it now. It's the new Zelda one. It's the one where you get to play a
Oh,
princess, and
yeah,
I'd love to get that game, and I haven't
yeah.
yet. But
It's Echoes of something. I can't remember
yeah,
the.
yep.
But yeah, those are all those. Well, I don't know if you. I have a Triforce tattoo.
Are you kidding me? Right? Oh, you
Yeah,
do.
yeah. And then in like a little bit in the corner, I don't know if you could see it. There's like a link. Um, let's see. There's like a
I
little link there.
Oh, there
It's
is the little guy
yeah,
back there. Yes, yes, yes.
yeah,
No, I could not see it until you moved your camera. I love that.
yeah.
I absolutely love that. I am like I always love playing like this is going to age me and date me, but like
Hmm.
the original NES, the original Nintendo,
Yeah.
where you had to blow into it and push the
Hmm.
Zelda cartridge in.
Yeah, everybody had like a little trick to get those things to work. There was a point where one of my cousins, he would like, if the game wasn't working, he would press down like exactly like 5 times and then see if it would work. We had
Yeah.
like a deck of cards that we would put in to keep the game down and stuff and see if that would work, because eventually like you use it so much that it deteriorates. So there was
Yep.
a way to get them to going all the time. We used to put some of the cartridges in freezers and see, we treated them like batteries.
See
Yeah.
if it would make it work.
Yeah.
That is
Hmm.
so good.
Hmm. And without further ado, that takes us to the end of the show. Um, I asked this the last question for everybody, and I'll ask it for you too. It's going to be your proud moment. So, is there anything that you've done recently that you're proud of, or just in general, anything that you're proud of?
Yeah, actually, there is. This kind of stems into I think mental health and some of
Mm-hmm.
that kind of stuff. But like something that it's recent. I picked up a book, but also recent enough, like recent over the last maybe year and
Mm-hmm.
a half. But I've really been intentional, and I'm seeing the fruit of this.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not only being kind to like people around me, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm really focusing on also being kind to myself.
Mm-hmm.
And as a former people pleaser, that's really hard to do.
Yeah.
So like I'm happy to be telling people more of my opinions, and it
Mm-hmm.
feels good on even such simple things as like where do you want to go to this restaurant, and
Mm-hmm.
being confident enough to say no.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't want to go there. I'd rather go here,
Mm-hmm.
and just letting myself be more authentically seen. Like these are some of my preferences,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm feeling. It sounds simple, but it's like it's been a challenge over my life. So it's something I am proud that I'm doing.
Good, and I'm happy for you because, like, as a people pleaser too, it's hard to get out of that, and like, still working through it. It's like a constant like challenge to
Same.
get out of those habits. So the fact that you've noticed that you have progress is like amazing, because it's hard. It's hard to get out of that habit of just saying, okay, or like wanting to, like somebody asking you for help and you wanting to say no, and you just be like, okay, yeah, I'll help. You know,
I'll help
mhm.
to my detriment,
Yeah.
where it's like actually I'll help,
Hmm.
and it's like I want to help, but actually then it's like, oh, but then I'm missing this deadline for this little,
Hmm.
and like, and it's
Hmm.
creating chaos in my life, and it's like actually,
Hmm.
and I'm finding too, like I really
Yeah.
like being able to tell people, well, actually here, no, here's what I
Hmm.
can do, like I
Yeah.
can do this or that,
Hmm.
or this just doesn't work for me right
Hmm.
now, and it is for whatever reason it feels like it's taken me a long time,
Yeah.
and but I'm learning.
Yeah. I went to just to like try it out because there were some things mentally that I needed to like help with, like just to like process. So I did like a little bit of therapy last year, and that was one of the things that my therapist
Yes, that's so
brought
good.
up. A way he told me to look at it is he was like, look at it this way, like, do can you see me still?
You're paused, so and I totally want to hear what you're saying, but your video is paused. I can hear you. Yes,
Boom.
there
Okay,
we
we'll switch
go.
to that.
Yes,
My
perfect.
my camera died. So, but So yeah, he told me that he was like, look at it this way. He was like, ask yourself like a couple questions. Like one, is it like, does it hurt you doing it? Like, do you get affected like by it? And like, if so, don't do it. He brought up like another subject, and then at the end, he told me he was like, also, ask yourself, would that person do the same thing for you? Like, if that's a no, then don't do it.
And that's I also have been
Mm-hmm.
I've gone to therapy
Mm-hmm.
actually in the last couple of years, and I found a sort of similar thing
Mm-hmm.
to that, but I that is so eye opening,
Mm-hmm.
like to be able to ask that question, to be
Yeah.
able to say, I would do this for them,
Mm-hmm.
would they do this for me?
Yeah.
And it's sad to me actually how many times like
Yeah.
I'm
Trust
like,
me.
oh, actually.
Yeah, yeah. Because he was like the last thing you got to ask yourself is reciprocity. Like, would like if you were in the same situation, would that person like do like like if you the person you're trying to help, would they go out of their way and help also? And I'm like, oh, I don't know. I don't think so.
ah,
Yeah,
ah.
yeah. It makes sense, and then when it happens, you kick yourself because you're like, oh, that makes complete sense and stuff. But sometimes it takes like those outside influences and stuff like that. I think it's 100% true that you like there's so many times where like you've had like friends and they're like going through something and you're like, well, this is what you have to do, and you're like, how come they don't realize it? But it's so much harder to realize the answers once like when you're in it. Like it's so much easier to see how to handle something when you're on the outside looking in. So that's why like therapy is awesome, because you have somebody on the outside looking in.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You're saying so many
Mm-hmm.
things that I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, yes, nugget of wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
It's so beautiful to have somebody that
Mm-hmm.
I'm just echoing what you're saying, but
Yeah.
it's that person where it's like, not only are they giving you
Mm-hmm.
like some outside input, they've actually been like trained on like, here's some ways that are really helpful, that and they don't have an agenda, like they
Mm-hmm.
don't have, like, as one who grew up around a really staunch religious, I was like, there's an agenda here, and it's
Mm-hmm.
to make, it's maybe not always in my interest, so, and it's having, therapy has been such a
Mm-hmm.
godsend in my
Yeah.
life, so
Yeah, and same thing. Anybody out there that is thinking about doing it, do it. The worst you could do is give it a shot. If it works for you, awesome. If it doesn't,
yeah,
it doesn't work for you. But
yeah.
there's no reason why you shouldn't give a. You can't complain about something if you're not willing to change it. So if you have something that's wrong in your life and you think therapy might help, then give it a shot.
Yeah, yeah, and there's a lot of versions of that too.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've done therapy, and I've also done support groups where it's like
Yeah.
just talking to other
Mm-hmm.
people, and yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot, there's many
Yeah.
different iterations of that, or
Yeah.
even
I
a
did.
book. Like,
Yeah, I
yeah,
did. I did better help, and like the my therapist was just purely like on her phone. So I would just go outside. I would hop on my phone,
oh, I love that.
and just do it. So I didn't have to go anywhere. Um, and he was amazing. I miss him, but I think he ended up moving to like a different state, so I couldn't. So we couldn't do.
It didn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Plus, at that time, I was like, okay, I think I'm okay. But he gave me his like contact information. He was like, hit me up anytime, even if I'm outside. He was like very
yeah,
very generous with this
yeah.
time.
I liken therapy in my life to I'm going to use the car analogy.
Mm-hmm.
Every once in a while, it's like, oh, I need a little tune up,
Mm-hmm.
and there's no shame in that. Where it's like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
I just need to go and get
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is. Like,
Yeah.
and I have done that throughout my life,
Mm-hmm.
where it's like, I don't go to therapy all the time, but it's like
Mm-hmm.
actually every now and then, it's like, you know what, I can tell there's something, and it's like, and I'll get a little tune up and then move on.
Yeah. No, it's one of the best things in the world. So I'm glad you feel
Yeah,
the same way, and hopefully a lot of the audience does too. So,
yeah.
but that concludes the show. Paul, thank you for being an amazing guest. This was an awesome experience. In my opinion, one of my favorite episodes so far already.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
No, it's thanks so much for
Mm-hmm.
having me on. I've enjoyed the conversation with you
Mm-hmm.
too, Joao, and yeah, I appreciate this space and
Mm-hmm.
the thing that you're doing here.
Cool. All we're just trying to do is so much negativity out there sometimes, even inside the podcast place. So just trying to replace that with something positive. So,
Yeah.
um, Is there anything out there that you want to tell the audience? Anything that you're promoting or want to say before we leave?
I would love to. If
Mm-hmm.
people, something I'm kind of
Mm-hmm.
tinkering on or working
Mm-hmm.
on these days is I'm really building up my YouTube channel. So if
Mm-hmm.
people want to check it out, I
Mm-hmm.
would love it. I would appreciate it. All of my social media stuff
Mm-hmm.
is the same, but
Mm-hmm.
like if people just look up on YouTube, like
Mm-hmm.
I am Paul Cram,
Mm-hmm.
you can find me on the internet that way too. Like
Yeah.
just I am Paul Cram. Check me out. I would appreciate it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All the people that are gonna type that in, they'll be like, "Am I Paul Cram?" Like, but, but
Yes, yes, you are.
yeah, that's awesome. So make sure you guys check that out. Paul, I'll grab your YouTube channel name and I'll put that on there for everybody to and link it for
Perfect.
everybody. So
Yeah.
I'll get that from you. But make sure you guys check out his YouTube channel. Catch him on social media. Also, I'll include the links for that too. Um,
Sweet.
and Paul, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here. This was amazing.
Thank you so much for
Hmm.
having me.
Yeah. And for all the audience out there, thanks for joining us for another episode. We'll catch you on the next episode that we have for My Favorite Parts. And until then, be good. So this is, again, My Favorite Parts, where if you have a heart, be a part. Peace.